So the location for Touchef Coupet's Flavors of the Black Diaspora pop-up dinner was a secret. So when I arrived at the address, I swore I must have written it down wrong because it was a residential home. It was in Fishtown, and he had this ingenious idea to just rent an Airbnb. That way, he had the kitchen to cook in, he had the dining room to serve in, but he also had the whole house for entertaining, and the whole thing worked out perfectly.
Welcome everyone. Thank you guys for coming. My name is Steve Coupet. I'm on Instagram as Touchef Coupet. Um, Welcome to my first Philadelphia pop-up dinner, Flavors of the African Diaspora. Tonight we're exploring dishes just all around the world, techniques and flavors used by Black Diaspora, and for me that includes countries, in the Caribbean and South America, maybe how Black Diaspora are cooking and living in Europe, for example. So it may be a little less traditional than other, black themed dinners that you've seen or been to. But my family's of Haitian descent, to give you a little background about me. So I'm thinking Caribbean, I'm thinking, yes, Africa, I'm thinking maybe how Africans cook in Europe, in a place like England where you have a lot of expats. And even tonight I'm thinking about South America, like Brazil, and just kind of how even though these countries geographically are really spread out around the world, some of the techniques are the same. Just jumping into what you've had so far tonight. Earlier you had one of your hors d'oeuvres was pork shank samosa. So this is a samosa I did with pork shank. Inside you had potatoes seasoned with turmeric and toasted fennel seeds. Every country has a dumpling or a handheld food, whether it's a samosa, or like I said, a dumpling. In Haiti we have Haitian-American, which is just like a croissant type thing. I wanted to try that tonight. The pork shank was braised in red wine, South African red wine. And that was just, kind of something I put together. The pork shank looked really good at the butcher shop. And that's kind of, and actually I bought it for us. Ended up using it for this, yeah. And your other hors d'oeuvre was maybe the most experimental dish of the night. That is a plantain crisp with foie gras and mango. It's foie gras from upstate New York, Hudson Valley, that I tried to round out with a hint of mango. On top of that, you had duck prosciutto, also from Hudson Valley. I got this duck breast about a month ago. I cured it at home using a toasted star anise blend. And then I dry aged it, so I let it hang in a controlled environment for 21 days. And that's what you have, is that duck prosciutto. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. For your first course tonight, what you have is a bone broth soup. This broth is beef based. When making this broth, I'm really inspired by Vietnamese pho. One of Mike's favorite things. So actually I think of you when I make it. Vietnamese pho, and I've been experimenting with that a lot over the past few months. So that was an inspiration for this bone broth. Inside you have chicken breast that I brined and smoked over sherry wood. And you have some alfalfa sprouts in there and some dehydrated okra. Which I also did as well. The dehydrated okra was just lightly seasoned, and it's going to have some sweetness and some spiciness to it. So hope you enjoy it. All right, so our second course right now. In front of you, you have our salad for the evening. This is a mori salad. So mori is salted cod. Some cultures call it bacalao. In Haiti, we shred it. So sometimes you'll see like bacalao fritters and like Bahamas, which are like fried and stuff. But in Haiti, we shred it. We cook it a little bit and kind of like pickle it almost. So that's what I've done for you here. So this is a salad that has winter greens in it. It has some salted cod that's been cooked with peppers, and that's been sitting in an oil. Underneath that, you have a butternut squash puree for some sweetness, with some black onion seeds on that. Also, you have some fried yuca that I did earlier this evening. And on top of all of that, to bring it all together, you have a lemon vinaigrette.
Thank you.
Alright guys, so for this course, this is our third course, our taco course. So for this taco, I did the tortillas in-house, so I made the tortilla dough and sauteed them off just now, actually, a few minutes ago. So for this tortilla dough, I'm using a corn flour, but I dye it black with a Haitian mushroom called jonjon. For all like the similarities that Caribbean food has in common, jonjon I find is only found in Haiti. Even like Dominicans don't really eat it. Haitians, we make a black broth using the black dried mushroom, and then we infuse it into rice. So Haitians have a black rice dish that's actually white rice that we've dyed black using jonjon. So I try to experiment with different ways on how to use jonjon. In this iteration, it's in the tortilla. So this is like your regular white corn tortilla, and so the black is just from the mushroom broth. And you might taste a little earthiness in that tortilla from the jonjon mushroom. On top of that, we have bacon jam, is the paste that you'll see there. This bacon I cured and smoked back in Harlem. This bacon was cured also with a star anise spice blend. I've been really digging the star anise flavors this season. I think it was oak wood chips that I used when I smoked this, and then I used that bacon to make a bacon jam. And so then after that we have breaded and fried catfish. Picked that up today on our way over here. Real simple southern tradition. On top of that we have some tobiko roe. It's just fish roe. We also have pickles. So the pink purple that you see on your plate is pickles. That's Haitian pickled peppers. Pickles is like a Haitian hot sauce. So we take Scotch bonnet peppers, we pickle cabbage and onions. So that's red cabbage that's been pickled with Scotch bonnet. So that's going to have a little bit of a kick to it. And then we also have some fried onions on top of that for you. So this taco, maybe not as experimental as mango foie gras over there, but it's something that I like to kind of mess around with in the different components. So here's our rustic taco. Hope you enjoy.
Thank you.
Figure out, what's a really cool cut of meat if I eat meat, or what's a really cool vegetable that's local, sustainable, that I can play around with more freely than something that's like from far away and super, expensive, basically. So what you have in front of you is a neck of beef that's been braised also in a South African red wine. You have a coconut rice, Brazilian style rice. So that's going to be sweet to offset the richness of the beef. You have a peanut sauce. Just like an African inspired dish. You have some sprouts on top of that as well as some scallions. And so we're pairing that with a red wine tonight. It's a South African red blend. It's not the wine that I've been using in the cooking, but it's just kind of a different, more table appropriate wine. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Like grandmama's house.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So for our last course, you've made it to the end. Congratulations. So this is dessert, pineapple upside down cake. Growing up, I thought this was a Haitian dish. My family would always have it for everything, but it was like the only cake. So I thought it was Haitian cake. I think in my 20s I found out it was a Black American tradition as well. It's just like, a good dessert that we do from time to time. That's just like really nostalgic to us. And actually, so this one was made by Karina. Enjoy. And so thank you all for coming out tonight. Thank you for your support. I hope you experience some new flavors, like something that you tasted that might make you order something differently on a menu down the line. That's kind of what it's all about, and that's what exposure is. So thank you. I'll let you guys know if I come back to Philadelphia and do something like this again. Do help me spread the word. It's how I grow my business. And so thank you for your time. And over here, we have some stuff for sale. So I have pickles, which you guys had tonight in your taco. I guess we no longer have bacalao. Salted cod, right? Smart taste buds. And then we have some ghee that I made. So for those of you who don't know, ghee is it's like a simmered butter. It's butter where the milk solids are simmered out. So if you are sensitive to dairy, lactose intolerant, ghee might work better for you. This ghee we infuse with garlic and rosemary. It's just, and it also with ghee you can cook at a higher temperature, so it doesn't burn as easily as butter. So it's great for like a steak. If you just want like a strong, robust, almost nutty flavor. So give it a check. I'm on Instagram. Do check me out. Yeah, tag us. This is Karina. She's Harlem Roots, Harlem.roots on Instagram. I'm Touchef Coupet on Instagram. And yeah, we're always on there marketing, and so we hope you follow us and keep in touch with our journeys, and we hope to do the same.
So
thank you.
for Tinsel and Tine's audience, can you just give us a little bit about your background? Like,
Yeah, so I am from New York, raised in New York, of Haitian descent. Food has always been super important to my family. I'm first generation American, so every family gathering, always food. I changed into the culinary career, so I used to work in technology, and after some time I shifted into cooking and completely dive into that. Yeah, so the food, coming from Queens, New York, it's a really diverse area, so the food I explore is like Caribbean food, a lot of diaspora cuisine. Korean food is actually like my favorite cuisine, so just kind of a lot of different cultures of food. Indian food, some of the stuff you had tonight, I really like to use Indian ingredients as like the base for a lot of flavors that I'm building on. So, throughout the course of the evening, you definitely had like Korean ingredients, Indian ingredients. So I try not to limit myself to one specific culture or technique with food. And it's kind of a different version of the same thing. So I think I try to blend cuisines in my own way. Yeah.
And our Black Diaspora's menu for tonight was brand new, like you just made for dinner?
Some dishes I evolved upon. The bacon jam, for example, that one was new in the way, like it was the first time I've cured and smoked bacon myself and used it in a bacon jam. The bacon jam is something I've kind of experimented around with, and this may have been the first time I've used it in a taco. So I will kind of do small experimentations and then try to piece them together for a meal like this. But the specific dishes for this meal are definitely new. They aren't, they're very rarely the same. I try to keep it seasonal and with ingredients that are local and affordable. The beef neck, that was definitely a new thing. The samosas, that was definitely new. So it's kind of, I guess it's what's in the air for me. I talked a lot about star anise tonight. For some reason, it just keeps coming up for me this season. So that's kind of how I come about with the menus.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.